Good evening. Welcome to Sports Weekend on I-24 News. Coming to you from the Jaffa Port, I'm Marav Severe. What a weekend, especially weekend we've had. Michael Sam makes NFL history, becoming the first openly gay player to get drafted into the league. The Miami Heat lose for the first time in the playoffs, while Oklahoma City and the Spurs seem unstoppable. London 2016, rumor has it there was consideration to move the 2016 Olympics back to England. But is there any truth to the gossip? And Borussia Dortmund have been playing great football lately. Can they challenge Bayern in the German Cup? Joining me for the show today are I-24 News sports analyst Jonathan Regev and Danny Swibel, and our Twitter extraordinaire Michal Divon. Hi guys.
Hey Rob, good evening.
And we started off with this weekend's history-making NFL draft. We've just witnessed history. On Saturday, Michael Sam became the first openly gay football player to be drafted into the league. And come September, when he puts on that Rams uniform for the season opener, he'll be the first openly gay man to play in the league. Jonathan Salem reports.
The 249th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Michael Sam, defensive end, Missouri.
Good for you, Michael.
Mike Kenzel, the National Football League's Vice President of Football Operations, couldn't have found a better way to welcome Michael Sam, the first openly gay football player to be drafted into the league. An emotional Sam made another statement when he kissed his boyfriend after he got the call from the Rams. Sam, a defensive end from the University of Missouri, came out during an interview and became a major headline and point of conversation. Before coming out, the defensive end's teammates and coaches promised to keep his homosexuality a secret, afraid it may affect his career. Sam was selected during the 7th round of the draft, picked 249th out of 256. He was almost not even selected during the event at Radio City Music Hall. For Les Snead, the general manager of the St. Louis Rams, drafting Sam was a no-brainer.
What's interesting on that is probably we've gotten, obviously, more text after a 7th round pick than I've probably ever gotten. Some of them from our players, a lot of them from people I know. There's not 1 ounce. There's not even close to a negative.
Sam received thousands of phone calls after the announcement, but one was particularly touching. Jason Collins, the first openly gay basketball player who plays for the Brooklyn Nets. For Sam, Collins was the one who paved the way for athletes to be open about their sexuality.
I sent him a text, and I hope that he would have gone to my team as Indianapolis Colts. I'm a fan of the Colts and Andrew Luck, but I'm glad for, very happy for Michael that he got drafted and that he's, that his dream is coming true.
Most people involved with the NFL have been openly supportive of what Sam has done. For them, the defensive end must be judged only by his skills on the field.
And Michal, I know I was so excited about it when I woke up this morning and heard that I tweeted about it. So I'm assuming a lot of other people were online talking about it also.
Right, you weren't the only one. It's a very exciting day. We'll go right to our first very exciting tweet from his boyfriend. So it's coming with a picture, the other man of the hour. Wow, what a day on Cloud 9. So proud and happy. So obviously this has created a lot of buzz. Michael Sam had to wait for the 3rd day of the draft. This was the 7th and final round. So you can imagine the suspense he was feeling.
And finally,
of course,
you saw
the amazing reaction,
the
emotion. And the first thing he did was kiss his boyfriend. I would do the same. Our next one. Should only be positive things said about Mike Sam becoming first openly gay NFL player. It's 2014. Massive respect for the guy. So, like you remember, in February, Jason Collins was the first NBA openly gay player, and so now we have it in the NFL. It seems like America is ready to move to the next, level, 2014.
And let's just hope other sports and other countries can follow suit. Michal, thank you very much. And we move on to action from the NBA playoffs. The stars have finally aligned in the NBA playoffs, and I'm not talking just about LeBron James, Tony Parker, and Kevin Durant. The top teams in the postseason are finally showing us why they are the top teams. And Danny, except for the Heat, it was a little off in that first round, but we're finally getting things straight.
The first round was a parallel universe. I mean, all of our favorite teams were losing. We thought they were even going to make it to the second round. Eventually, they got their act together, started dominating. The Heat weren't part of that. The Heat swept through the first round. They actually experienced that first loss against Brooklyn last night. And, Brooklyn played a perfect game. I mean, their bench, they rebounded, hitting 52% of their shots, and they hit 15 three-pointers. But do I think they could repeat that game in and game out against the Heat? Absolutely not.
No way. We saw in the regular season, but we're not going to see it here in the playoffs.
No way, no way.
And as for the Indiana Pacers, Roy Hibbert was lost, but we found out that all he really needed was a fishing trip with Paul George, and we found him again.
I thought you were joking when you first said it, but it's true, yes. I mean, the guy had 0 points in Game 1, 0 points. And the thing is, this was the continuation of the last few months of the Pacers season, the first 8 games of playoffs, where they were just playing crummy. They didn't have that personality anymore. And then Game 2, Roy Hibbert, 28 points? Game 3, 14 points? I mean, all around playing well, and defensively, he was a real presence in the paint. So defensively, what Indiana's doing right now, they kept them down to 82 points in Game 2 and a franchise record low, 63 points in Game 3. Indiana is back to what they were before, maybe. And Paul George even said the last game was the ugliest of the postseason. It's our kind of game.
But so there you go. And then we're moving to a team that has great offense really quickly. We've got Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook just owning it right now. 1-2 punch.
Oh, this has been like the storybook of the NBA. I love these guys, and they're partners in crime, and they are both averaging triple-doubles every game, and they stepped it up all the way. Serge Ibaka's really playing well. The Clippers better watch out because they could be out of this thing like that.
And very quickly, we've got the Spurs, who are finally being the team we talked about them all season.
Yes, we love the Spurs. We always talk about the Spurs. I was like, how do I describe them to Marav? Lights out. They're playing bananas. I don't know. I'm like, no, what? They're playing bonkers. They are playing absolutely bonkers, scoring 110 points in the last 4 games. Tim Duncan just passed Karl Malone on the all-time scoring list in the NBA in playoffs. I mean, it's amazing. And the Blazers, they only had a lead for 30 seconds in this series, 33 seconds.
And everybody keeps saying that the Spurs are old, but somehow they keep hanging in there, and they're also being talked a lot about on Twitter.
The tweets are pretty much saying what Danny just said, but we'll show them anyways. First tweet, Spurs are relentless in the NBA playoffs almost every year. They've been doing this for 15 years. With every game, they get better. They know how to play championship. And what can I say? No NBA team has come back from a 3-0 deficit to win, so they probably have it nailed.
And talking about how many times the Spurs have been in the playoffs, we saw a graphic about how many times Tim Duncan has been in the playoffs in the other teams. Yes. We're moving on. What's your next one?
Our next tweet, great stats. The Blazers and Spurs have played 144 minutes. Portland has led for 33 seconds. What can I say? The Spurs are giving the Blazers no mercy whatsoever, and we're kind of happy about it.
And this was a good Blazers first-round team. They were really dominant in that first round. Not this round. Not against the Spurs anyway.
Well, it's a good thing the Spurs are really putting on a show for us now. Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you, my love.
And now it's time for our news in brief. NBA star Tracy McGrady did his best Michael Jordan impression on Saturday, making his pitching debut for the Sugar Land Skeeters in Texas. The 34-year-old pitched for only 1 2/3 innings, allowing 2 hits and 2 runs in the loss. He threw 35 pitches, 18 for strikes. McGrady played baseball until his senior year of high school. And Russian President Vladimir Putin took a break from politics and hit the ice over the weekend. An avid hockey fan, he took part in the annual All-Russia Festival for amateur hockey. The president scored 6 goals and tallied 5 assists in his team's victory over the Night Hockey League Stars. And in judo at the Baku Grand Slam in Azerbaijan, Israeli Sagi Muki shined. He won the gold medal in the 73-kilo category after defeating the French Florent Ourani, scoring Ippon within 90 seconds. He also eliminated the Olympic champion Marco Maddaloni. Victor Skoltov, competing for the United Arab Emirates, took the bronze. And in Argentina, fans for footballer Carlos Tevez gathered on Saturday afternoon to appeal for their Apache to be selected for the Argentinian World Cup team. The World Cup is just 1 month away, and coach Alejandro Sabella has not announced his team yet, and it seems unlikely he will choose Tevez, and devotees say if he's not selected, they will protest even harder. We all know Brazil has been having problems ahead of this summer's World Cup, which begs the question, will they be ready for the 2016 Olympics? Well, according to some rumors from over the weekend, we're not the only ones asking these questions. Rumors started circulating about the Olympic Committee secretly asking London to host them again. The IOC denied the rumors. Jonathan and Danny, first of all, can they actually do this? Can they move the Olympics?
Well, yes, they can. Will they? Probably not. You know, it was a secret rumor, but someone made sure it's out in the open. Now,
right.
why is
All the British media were talking about it.
It's secret, but somehow everybody knows all about it. Well, you know what? I think someone made clear that this rumor is out so that the Brazilians may understand, hey, we have a plan B. You guys are not ready come the Olympics in 2016. We have somewhere to move it. London is ready. Yeah. London is going to be ready if we just tell them even a month ahead.
That's right. And that's what happened in 2004 with Athens, because Athens was also running really far behind. They got a yellow card, if you will, to really put the pressure on them to make sure they got all the things done in time. So again, yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen, but they have to get that message out there just to make sure.
And do you think
that is exactly the yellow card.
Can leaking this secret actually push Brazil to move forward and build faster?
The one thing the International Olympic Committee has to see is the World Cup coming up in just a month. We know things will not be ready. Everything will not be ready on time for the World Cup. And then we'll see how Brazil handles it. If things go fine, even if not 100%, but still things go fine, then they're going to say, all right, if even with the minor delays, Brazil's going to do it. If not, there's going to be a problem.
There's a lot of factors, like people are going on strikes in the construction sites. Police are raiding certain slums because there's certain crimes in certain areas.
And there's another question. We're seeing so many protests. Maybe the Brazilians actually want it to be taken away from them. Is that something we should be thinking about?
One thing about Rio de Janeiro, they bet Chicago in the bid for the 2016 Olympics. Back then, in 2009, when Rio was chosen, there was a survey showing that 47% of the population in Chicago was unhappy with the fact that they were not chosen, but 45% was happy, saying, why should we save so much of our taxpayers' money on these Olympics?
Right, and that together with the World Cup.
So I'm not so sure. A lot of people in Rio de Janeiro will actually be happy when these Olympics go away. It's a lot of prestige for the big people, not so much for the small people.
You start off with a certain budget and ends up going way over budget.
We saw that happen in Russia. We were up to billions and billions of dollars for these little bits.
Whether it's Beijing or Russia this year, it happens all the time.
But in Russia, you cannot criticize Putin, so of course everyone kept their...
It seems in Brazil, even if you do criticize, nothing's really going to happen about it, except for secret leaking about it being moved to another country. And Michal, what are people saying about it online?
Well, everyone's talking about this secret, and so if the secret reached Twitter, again, I'm not sure, is it really a secret, and maybe it was meant to be shared. So our first tweet, actually our only tweet is, wow, Lena has been secretly asked if it can take over the 2016 Olympics as Brazil is so far behind on preparations. While the International Olympic Committee Vice President John Coates said this is rubbish. But rumors are saying that the rumors are coming from the committee itself, and what they're trying to do is pressure Brazil into speeding up with preparations.
And over the weekend, a lot of people talking about this were the British media, so maybe they're secretly hoping it actually will get moved over to them.
If you know what Brazil is like, and I think we'll see it in the World Cup, things get ready late, but they everything falls into place somehow at the end. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys, and now we move on to our top and flop. First, we'll start by congratulating the new English champions, Manchester City. Jonathan, they've established themselves as a new force, winning 2 out of the past 3 years.
Well, as long as they have the big money coming in from the Gulf, the oil money coming in from the Persian Gulf, they'll be a big team. That's for sure. What happens if that money goes away, because it can happen, that's a question to be asked. As long as the money is there, they're going to be a big team. It's their second championship in 3 years. They did not need the drama they needed 2 years ago to win back then. Now it was they beat West Ham 2-0 at home in the final game. So yes, they've established themselves.
And we saw an incredible celebration. And moving on to your top and flop, Borussia Dortmund, they didn't win the Bundesliga, but they've been playing great lately. They may challenge Bayern.
Yeah, well, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens in the German Cup final next week. Borussia Dortmund have been looking very, very good lately. Bayern Munich, not so much. We see them now beating Bayern Munich 3-0 at the Allianz Arena about a month ago. Bayern Munich, we saw them not so good ever since.
Struggled a little after that.
Exactly, ever since securing the championship. Not so good against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Very, very interesting game coming up next week.
And we also were looking at your flop, Real Madrid, 2 draws. Are there hopes for the championship just dwindling as we speak?
I don't think there are any hopes left. They needed to win those 2 games. They had a game in hand against Valladolid, a team who's fighting against relegation. They were not even able to win against them. It seems like Real Madrid is so focused on their Champions League final that they forgot about the local league, and they left it for Atletico Madrid and Barcelona to fight among themselves.
And what do they have to do, or can they do anything to win this and maybe go home with 2 trophies this season?
First, of course, they have to win their 2 remaining games, but the miracles that have to happen in other games are just It can happen, but theoretically there is a chance. But the miracles that have to happen are just too much. There's too much. There's a certain amount of miracles that you can expect. This is just too much.
And obviously, you're happy Atletico Madrid is going to win.
Yes. They can secure the championship. As it seems, it will have to happen next week in a giant match against Barcelona at the Camp Nou. We'll have to see that. But obviously, a big season for Atletico Madrid. They can also end up with two trophies. One in Spain, one the Champions League. Very interesting to see. The whole drama evolving in Spain is just fantastic.
And you beat me to the punch that we've got 2 Madrid teams going up for 2 trophies. One of them is most likely to go home with both of them.
Yeah, at least, the city of Madrid is going to be happy. They will probably clinch the local championship. That's left to see. They will for sure have the Champions League in the city, the Spanish capital, showing that it's the European football capital by far.
Well, Jonathan, thank you very much. And that's all for us for today. For all this latest sports news, you can find us online, i24news.tv, our Facebook page or Twitter page. And please tweet at us at i24newssports. We'd love to hear from you on there. From all of us here on Sports Weekend, I'm Manuel Pellegrini. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to join us right here next Sunday.